Ever wish you could, like, bottle the essence of a whole book? You know,
Right.
kind of like condense it down to the length of, say, your commute. Well, that's exactly what we're doing today.
I am all about efficiency. Sign me up.
We're diving deep into Morgan Housel's The Psychology of Money. And I got to say, I'm pretty fired up about this one. It's right up our alley, for those of us who want to be smart with our money, but maybe don't speak fluent Wall Street.
It's true. All those fancy terms can be super intimidating.
Right. But our friends over at D's Books, they did a killer job breaking this one down.
Yeah, they really nailed the whole approachable vibe while still delivering the goods.
Totally. And speaking of delivering the goods, one of the things that really struck me, they opened their episode with this story about Bill Gates. And I mean, we all know Gates went on to become, well, Bill Gates.
Right. Microsoft, billions, the whole 9 yards.
Exactly. But back in the day, high school, he had this friend, Kent Evans, who was, by all accounts, just as gifted when it came to computers.
And this story, it perfectly highlights one of Housel's core messages: luck.
Yeah, it plays a way bigger role in financial success than we often give it credit for. Tragically, Evans died young, never got the chance to reach his full potential. Makes you think,
It really does.
How many other brilliant minds are out there who just, for whatever reason, didn't get that lucky break, that one opportunity?
It's a humbling thought. It makes you realize that judging someone's worth based solely on their bank account, well, that's a pretty limited way to see the world.
Couldn't agree more. And recognizing the role of chance, it shouldn't just make us humble, it should also encourage a healthy dose of caution.
Right, absolutely. Like, even the most seasoned investors, the ones who live and breathe the market, they can't predict the future with 100% certainty. Nobody can.
Which brings us to another force House talks about.
Yeah.
Compounding. And of course, D's books brought up Warren Buffett.
Had to, right? The OG of compound.
Exactly. But how does that actually work in real life? Not just, Warren Buffett land.
Okay, so picture this. You invest, let's say, $100 today. And let's say it earns a consistent 7% return every year. Now, that might not sound like a lot, especially at first.
Potatoes, right?
Right. But after 10 years, you're looking at almost $200. You double your money. Fast forward another decade, you're close to $400, and on it goes. That's the magic of compounding. Small, steady gains, but over time, watch out.
Okay, I'm starting to get it, but it also highlights something D's books pointed out. Patience. That's the real secret sauce here, isn't it?
100%. We live in a world obsessed with instant gratification, but real wealth, whether it's financial or, frankly, anything else worthwhile, it usually takes time. You're playing the long game, not chasing those flashy, quick wins.
Well, get rich quick schemes here.
Definitely not. So we've talked about growing wealth through compounding, but what's the end game? And that's where Housel's whole idea of financial independence comes in. And that's where the psychology of money really clicks. It's not just about stacking Benjamins. It's about, understanding the point of it all. What's it all FOR? Housel's whole thing is that real financial independence, it's not about hitting some magic number in your bank account. It's about the freedom it gives you.
Okay, so less about the how much, more about the what for. I like that.
Exactly. It's about having the means to live life on your own terms. I mean, for some people, that might be early retirement, right? For others, it might be the flexibility to chase a passion project without stressing about paying the bills. What would it look like for you?
Man, that's a great question. I think for me, it'd be the freedom to travel more, Spend time with family, to maybe finally write that novel that's been rattling around in my brain. But, how do you actually get there? Financial independence sounds awesome and all, but it's got to be easier said than done, right?
Well, for sure. It's a journey, not a quick fix. And here's where Housel gets surprisingly practical, I think. He's all about, aligning your spending with your values.
So being mindful about where your money's going, not just letting it disappear on stuff you don't even really care about.
Exactly. It's about living below your means, being a good saver, and this is a big one, resisting that urge to constantly upgrade your lifestyle just to keep up with everyone else. You could be making bank, but if you're always chasing the next shiny object, you're never really going to get ahead, At least not in terms of real freedom and security.
It's funny how that works.
Yeah.
Right? The more you make, the more you spend. But Housel's saying you can actually break free from that cycle.
Totally. And this is where the whole psychology part of the psychology of money comes into play. It's about understanding our emotions around money, not just the numbers themselves. And one emotion Housel really cautions against: unchecked greed.
Ooh. Okay, now we're getting to the good stuff. The D's books, folks, they told this crazy story about this guy, Rajat Gupta. Now, this dude had it all successful career, tons of money, crazy powerful position, but he risked it all, the whole thing, by engaging in insider trading. Why would someone with that much on the line go for even more?
It's a classic example of what Housel calls the greed trap. We get this idea that just a little more money, a little more power, a few more things, that's going to be the ticket to happiness.
But that's the thing, isn't it? Money can't buy happiness. We've all heard that a million times.
Right, and that's what makes the psychology of money so insightful, I think. It's like, hold on, let's actually define what enough is. Not based on what everyone else is doing, not based on some arbitrary benchmark, but based on what actually matters to you. Because real wealth, it's not just about the size of your portfolio, it's about aligning your money with the life you want to live.
So it's about recognizing that money is a tool, right? And like any tool, you can use it to build something amazing or you can totally misuse it.
100%. And Housel, he reminds us that the choices we make about money, they're really choices about how we want to live our lives. They're all connected.
That's a really good point.
Oh.
It's not about getting rich for the sake of being rich. It's about what you actually deal with it,
Yeah.
right? The impact you make, the experiences you create, the freedom you build for yourself and the people you care about.
Couldn't have said it better myself. The Psychology of Money, it's more than just another personal finance book. It's like a nudge to really examine our own beliefs about money, our own behaviors, and make sure they're actually lining up with the kind of life we want to live.
It's about mastering your mindset, not just the numbers. And on that note, I think we've done a pretty good job unpacking Morgan Housel's The Psychology of Money, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. Lots to think about.
Hopefully our listeners have a fresh perspective on building wealth, but more importantly, on building a life that feels truly fulfilling. Thanks for diving in with us.